with James Ham, who's pulling up on us right now.
Most of the insiders.
A lot of the times, especially, what's up, Hammer? How you doing, big dog?
Good. We just got somebody else's linebacker that they're paying $10 million for, and got minimum.
Give it all to me.
Although I'll say this, Kenny, I wish they would have given up a 3rd-round pick for him because they're horrible in the 3rd round and really good in the 7th.
Well, Fred Warner was a 3rd-round pick. See, James, you've fallen into the trap that everybody else does.
I did this.
They miss a lot.
I did the exercise once. It's probably it's a smidge bit under 50-50 in the first 3 rounds. Like, and I don't know whether you equate that to good or bad.
Right.
But it's not like it's god awful. But they're the, there's the Trey Sermons. There's
and the other running back is there was in the 3rd round too.
Jordan was the 3rd round.
No, it was Davis Price.
Oh, LSU.
Yeah. It was 3rd rounder too. So it's hit or miss. But so one of the things that a lot of people do, and it seems like they only do this with the Kings. They take the worst case scenario with the Kings and compare that to the best case scenario of other teams. What teams, I'll ask both of you guys, would concern you? Let's say everybody in the league is best case scenario, health-wise, performance-wise. Mm-hmm. What teams concern you?
League-wide?
In the Western Conference.
Oh.
So, for instance, the Clippers are 100% healthy.
Nah. Is it weird to it'd probably be closer to the Lakers for me?
Okay. No, I don't. There's not a right or wrong answer.
Size, yeah. I mean,
Phoenix. I think there's still holes in Phoenix, like they're in their
game. No, I'm not there with Phoenix. Even though
I'll tell you the problem I have with Phoenix. The problem I have with Phoenix is not only did they have 3 pieces, 2 of which have played together, which are, they're star quality, and we don't know how they're going to play together. And we don't know, there's only one basketball, right? You only play with one ball at a time. So how are they going to share that? But it's that they shook up their entire roster 3 days before training camp. I think that they'll be really good towards the end of the season. But I also wonder, what are they going to be like the first month or two? And that's where I think the Kings are going to really excel. They're going to pick up a bunch of early wins, at least in my opinion, where a lot of people who are, looking at their win totals and saying 44.5 or, 45, right around there. I think that they're going to pick up an extra 5 or 6 games, maybe even a few more than that, while they're just rolling early on because they have so much continuity. And maybe I'm wrong about that. But I do think that this is a team. The Kings are uniquely built to win way more games than they probably should because of early season success.
Is there a team for you?
I mean, I think the Warriors are on that list. Lakers are on that list. Clippers, I think the Clippers are on that list.
Okay. Well, I was, I mean, I'm not.
Those guys are. I think that's always everybody's concern with them is that they just won't stay healthy. If something crazy happens and they're both there all year long, I don't think talent was ever the issue with that group.
No doubt. But I also think Denver can be healthy, and I think the Kings match up well against Denver.
Right. So
that's kind of one of those things. I just think there are matchups that I think work. Maybe I'm completely wrong about the Clippers. Maybe I'm completely wrong about the Lakers too, and maybe they match up better with them. I've never been afraid of the Kings Denver matchup. I'm not saying Kings winning 4. I'm just saying I think it's a tough. I like the matchup for them. I think the Kings always play them well.
I think Denver's gonna be really good.
Well, they're the defending champions. I mean, I think seeing what Jamal does, as an encore. I talk a lot about De'Aaron and his playoff performance and what that might mean for him. Jamal had moments of being spectacular in the postseason, and that carries over. Yeah, that's a Western Conference problem, even though I think a lot of people have kind of just slotted Denver at 1 and work from there. You can go 2 through 10, but I think most people slot Denver at 1.
Yeah.
I slot Denver at 1, and I don't even kind of move them. I don't think that they're they know who they are. They take everything not too serious, but the right way. Like I think you always have these teams that either like push to get as many wins as possible because they think that's the thing, right? Like you need to secure home court. No, you need to position yourself right, but there can be a great team at 4 that you're up against at 1 that can knock you off in the second round with no problem. The key is to get through the regular season, win enough games to be a top 4 seed if you can, and then stay healthy. That's the biggest, for me. And I think Denver is a team that understands that. They're not a team that's just shooting for the stars and like, hey, we're going to go chase the Warriors 73 win this total this season. And I think the Kings can be in that category of teams that are chasing, but like there aren't a lot of teams that just naturally scare you in the Western Conference, at least not by my book. I think, Kenny, you mentioned the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to be really good. I still think they need more shooting, but whether they're 100% healthy all season with Anthony Davis and AD, and LeBron, they still have depth all over the place. It's more intriguing than any year that I've seen from them in the last like 5. Outside of that, there are a lot of questions on almost every single Western Conference team.
I just had a little bit of a light bulb moment. Dare I say an epiphany?
Okay.
I'm looking at
Epiphany.
A Ken Epiphany.
Ken Epiphany.
Looking at the Nuggets roster,
Mm-hmm.
and just looking at the stats and the numbers from last year,
mm-hmm.
and we talked about Keegan Murray,
mm-hmm.
and look at Michael Porter Jr. He went 17.4 points per game last year, 5.5 rebounds. Man, what if Keegan Murray ended up being Michael Porter Jr.?
Wow.
A Michael Porter Jr. that stays healthy. Now,
yeah.
Last season, I mean, these probably aren't too far off from what Keegan Murray did last year. It's probably just a shot attempts thing. Michael Porter shot 41% from beyond the arc, 48% from the field, 80% free throw shooter, and that led to 17.4 and 5 rebounds. He's not like this spectacular defender. He's not this super creator anymore because that's not what the body will allow. But he's a hell of a spot up shooter for that Denver Nuggets team. And I don't know if Keegan gets to, 17 and 5 this year, but say 2-3 years from now, Keegan Murray 17 and 5. I mean, that to go along with Fox's 25 and Sabonis is 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's realistic. I feel like it is.
Kenny, I think if Keegan averages 17.4, and I'm not saying whether he can or not, I actually do think that that's in the range, right? But if he does, that means he's your third best player. That means that the contingency of Monk, Herter, and Harrison Barnes are now your, like, in some order, 4th, 5th, and 6th. That means you're a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're a really, really, really solid team. And if that happens, and I'm like, I think that can happen. And you said like 2-3 years down the road, the Kings don't expect that 2 or 3 years down the road. Like I talked to somebody last year when Lauri Markkanen was blowing up early in the season. He's averaging 20 and 8, 20 and 9, whatever it was, and at 25 and 8. And the Kings, people within the walls were like, we believe he'll be a much better player than Lauri Markkanen.
Wow.
And so that's who they think he can be. So if that's who they think he can be, that's who they're going to try to get him to be. And so like the 17.4, that's in the wheelhouse. Like if he averages between 16 and 18 points per game, I wouldn't be surprised.
We had like a series of like NBA what ifs earlier, and one of them was because we keep talking about this step that Keegan can take, the growth Keegan Murray can have this upcoming season and what that might mean for Sacramento. So we went overboard and said, what if Keegan Murray takes a De'Aaron Fox-like year 2 leap? Year 1 to year 2 for De'Aaron was pretty phenomenal on a really bad team. What if Keegan on a really good team took a year 1 to year 2 De'Aaron Fox type leap, and we wound up with, at minimum, this team is in the conference finals. At minimum, this team is a series away from the NBA finals.
Yeah, I'd even point out that I believe what you're asking is if he can take this exact leap that we're talking about. Because if I'm not mistaken, in De'Aaron Fox's first year, he averaged 11.6. In his second year, he averaged 17.3. It's the exact leap you're talking about. I mean, within reason, we're talking about a 5.7 point per game increase, and Keegan averaged a little over 12, and so yeah, it's right there. Like he can do that. It's not, you're talking about like 2 more shot attempts and getting to the free throw line twice. That's it, and that's how you get there. Maybe 3 more shot attempts to like balance out like everything, but like he needs to get to the line more, that's for sure. But if he's a better rebounder, he'll have more opportunities. If he's a better off-ball cutter, he'll have more opportunities. If the Kings put the ball in his hands and say go ahead and create for 5 minutes, he's going to put up a much higher number. And then if the other thing which they're talking about is that they're going to allow him to bring the ball up on occasion, if that's the case, he's going to get a couple more shot opportunities. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes 3 to 4 more shots per game this season. But we're also looking at, I talked about it with the Suns. I can't say it because they've got Beal and Booker and KD, and there's only one ball, they got to share it. Well, it's the same thing with the Kings. In order for Keegan to take, let's just say 4 more shots gets him to that points per game. In order for that to happen, he has to take 4 shots from somebody. And who is that going to be? Because it's not going to be Fox. It's not going to be Sabonis. Maybe you take 1 or 2 away from a Harrison Barnes, but even that, like, how many did he take last year? So you start running out of people very quickly of where you can start pulling those shots. So unless the Kings decide to just play much faster and try to get another 5 possessions, 6 possessions a game, and feed a lot of those to Keegan Murray, you're gonna have a tough time getting that many extra shots to him.
I mean this with all due respect. You could take 3 away from Harrison. Harrison was 9.6 shot attempts last year.
You take 3 from him?
Yeah, give him the Keegan. Give him the Keegan.
All right.
Yeah. And Harrison, you just you do the dirty work. You don't focus on, getting 10 shots a night. Get your 5, 6 shots a night.
Okay.
Here's the rule, though. If you tell them to take those shots away from Harrison Barnes, we can't complain when they take those shots away from Harrison Barnes and he's not shooting enough.
I won't. Yeah, absolutely. I won't, as long as Keegan is shooting. If they take the shots away and Keegan still isn't shooting the ball, then I'm going to be like, well, somebody got to shoot. But if Keegan, because Keegan was at 9.8 shot attempts last year, if he's up to 13, like Michael Porter Jr. was last year,
yeah,
and Harrison is down to, 7 or so, all right.
You see, though, that 9.8, you said it was 9.8 to like 13.4 or something. That's 3.6 shots. That's what we're talking about. If Keegan Murray averages 3.6 more shots per game, because at least 2 of those shots are going to be 3-point shots, you can just start doing quick math, and it's easy to see how he's at 15 points per game without even really trying. And for him to get to 17 really isn't going to be that difficult. So it's just whether it all comes in the flow of the game. And like, he definitely needs to shoot more than the 9.8 times per game that he shot last year.
James, what in trying to go back in time a little bit and having the conversation with De'Aaron Fox, what do you remember him attributing his second year jump to? Like, was it just as simple as, hey, I'm not a rookie anymore and I understand the game? Or, what did he say helped him go from, 11 point per game score to 17, where he was a problem. He was a blur out there in that second season, especially early.
Yeah, a lot of it was that just feeling more comfortable with the bright lights. Plus, those were 2 totally different teams. So in his rookie season, his vet is, they have Vince Carter, they have Zebo, they had George Hill. They cleared out George Hill at the trade deadline and then gave him sort of free run. And he had a really good finish to that year, but he, it was hit and miss. Like, the shots weren't great. He got stronger during that offseason. He got bigger, and he understood at that point what it took. He's also been very clear, even especially when we were in the Halliburton season, just how good Halliburton was in his rookie season and how bad Fox believed he was himself in his rookie season. Fox knew he was not great in his rookie season, and that putting up 17 points a game in his second season, that's fine, but that's probably where he thought he should have started as a rookie. and then built from there. So it took him an extra year, but a natural progression of a player. We talk about this all the time. A natural progression of a playoff team is you usually miss the playoffs by a couple of games, or you're in the running. Then you're an 8 seed and you battle and you lose in the first round, maybe 4-1, 4-2. Your next year you try to make it the second round. Like there is always like there's outliers for sure, but for the most part, the NBA is pretty structured with how teams increase in win totals and how players increase as they grow as a player. And Fox's trajectory was in line with almost anyone else. I mean, go back to Russell Westbrook's first 4 years in the league. They're almost identical. Like we've talked about this, like their stat lines, they're almost spot on identical. The only thing is at some point, Russ decided he was going to go steal everybody's rebounds, and Domantas Sabonis, he just won't have that. He just won't have that.
Why on a Friday? Like why?
Hey, Russ is great. Russ is great. He's like one of the great statistical players. But my point is, like, look at their stats. Look at how they grew. Look at how they got to where they were supposed to be. And Fox, the one thing about Fox is that in year 5, he had a downswing. And we all saw it. We all knew that there was something going on. We all felt like he didn't look like himself. But like 2 years ago, the season before, I guess it's 3 statistical seasons ago, Fox was incredible. He was equally as good as he was this season. It just A, didn't come on a winner, and B, didn't all look like it in the fourth quarter. I mean, he's grown and he's gotten better, and it's easier for him to get to 25 point something. But he basically was, I think he was statistically better like 3 years ago than he was this last season.
James, you said something that caught my attention for a minute. You mentioned De'Aaron knew he wasn't where he should have been his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea where, like, what Keegan's perception is of his rookie year?
No, I think Keegan believes he had a good rookie season and that there's a ton of room for him to grow. Mm. Yeah, I mean, he's a very modest dude, but he also knows that he set the all-time record for most three-pointers made by a rookie in NBA history. Like, he knows that, and he knows that he's a great shooter that has to continue to get better and has to continue to show more of his game. And I think the interesting thing for Keegan that I will always like, Keegan has so much more game than what he's shown. Like, we've seen it in Summer League, and then you just miss it because it's Summer League, it's California Classic, whatever. But the player he was in college, he was like 98th percentile at the rim in college. Like, he was a post player half the time. He shot the 3 ball, but then he scored all kinds of buckets around the rim. We didn't see that at all in his rookie season. Just think if they can get to a point where Sabonis has the ball in the high post and, Keegan Murray keeps splashing through to go to the other side, but then all of a sudden he stops in the middle of the key, or he stops on the base, on the block, and just puts his hands up and calls for the ball and gets back to the player he was in college, and gets like 2 opportunities a game where he just goes over the top on of somebody, like in a moving situation. Not like you're going to go feed him in the post all the time, but it can be another element of their game, almost like what Vlade and Weber did, where when you had 2 bigs on the court, there were times where one of them they're only 6 feet away from each other, 8 feet away from each other, but you just feed it right over the top, and he's already so close to the rim that it's hard for him to miss. But Keegan has all kinds of game there. He has all kinds of mid-range game. He can take you off the dribble. We haven't seen enough of that. He held back in his rookie season, and he tried to fit in, and he tried to conform to the Kings offense. And hat tip to him, because it just allowed him to get comfortable and look really, really good. But there's so much more that we've seen, whether it's at the college level or at the like summer league level, that he can do. And so, like, that's why the Kings are so high on him. Because it's not like they're asking him, again, the Kings bet on what they've seen, what they know. That's what they do. If you look at all their draft picks, most of their signings, everything, they do not bet on potential. They bet on what they know, and they know what Keegan can do completely.
I'm him. What you want me to say? I'm him.
Oh, good. Another impression. That's great.
Keegan. I'm him. Keegan. I'm doing my best Sacramento Kings when they ask the people to do the impression of Keegan.
I love that everyone's Mike's impression was the turn on the effing Jets like run.
And G League guy was like, nope, not doing Mike impression.
It's good thinking.
Good call.
Mike is so fun. Like I don't know if you saw the clip we put up that I put up last night after practice. Well, he just walks in like on day one, he started like botting Jason Anderson, just like throwing him around as he's demonstrating something and how to be more physical. He starts being physical with Jason Anderson, just pushing him around and all that stuff. And then, you know, he's just a fun dude. He walks into the scrum last night and like kind of slammed into Jason on accident. And then it's like, we were making fun of him. And like, it was a good, he's got a good spirit about him. And I think that's such a big deal coming into this camp too. Doesn't matter how hard he makes you work, you still have that love and that joy from him that you feel, and it's a big part of what they're doing here.
What's your thoughts on the practice heard around the world last night? It was just unbelievably physical.
We did not get to see a whole lot of okay. So what we got to see was third and fourth teamers, and then mixed in that again was, you know, Alex Lynn was there, and then Sasha was there. And I think they're just trying to get Sasha more flow, like run up and down the court. Plus, you only have 21 players. You know, so somebody's got to go play in these games. I thought it was fun. I was a little disappointed that some of the younger guys took the ball to the basket and tried to do like acrobatic shots while Sasha was sitting in the corner wide open, because we have yet to see Sasha shoot. That's something that like it's a running gag. Like he hasn't come out and done shooting drills after practice every day like everyone else does. And so we're still waiting and waiting and waiting. I also thought, like we talked about a little bit, me and Sean earlier today, he's straight up European dude. So, and I enjoy it because we've had like other European dudes. So like he comes out, his pants are pulled all the way up to his neck, and like he's got his shirt tucked in. Like, and then he gets in. I tweeted out a picture of his stance when he was like getting ready for a rebound on a free throw, and it was just like, holy cow, this is crazy. What is happening? Because all of it, he just like, you watch him and you're like, hey, which guy is a European guy? You look out on the court, you're like, oh yeah, I got it. I know which one it is. I mean, it's like super easy to pick out. And I think Sean said he like looks like a dork. Like it's on the court. And I'm like, well, that's not nice, but I found it funny the way like you saw it. You're like, oh man, like what are you doing? And you know, we're just waiting to see more of him. I can't wait till Sunday when we actually get to see him actually play. Because like watching him run up and down the court last night, it wasn't like he didn't do a whole bunch of like crazy stuff. And we did see Colby Jones like tried to catch a body on Jordan Ford. It got a little ugly. I got video of that, but like, and Deontay Burton had just a ridiculous hammer dunk in the middle. It was physical though.
What if Sasha goes for like 27 on Sunday?
Sasha
goes for like 27 on 9 shots or something crazy.
You will not be able to contain us.
Oh no, absolutely not.
You know what will happen?
Got our Luka. We got our Luka.
You know what happens on Monday? Kenny goes, I'm taking 3 more shots from Harrison Barnes. He's down to 3 shots a game now.
Harrison ain't gonna be
you
taking
better shoot every time you see it, but you only get 3.
Harrison's getting the DMP CD. Kenny Caraway.
He's gonna be a swing guy. Just swing the ball to the next.
Go set a screen, Harrison. Go set a screen.
They're gonna start a new category. It's not the assist, but it's the pre-assist. What they call them, the hockey assist, the pass before the pass.
Yeah.
Harrison's gonna lead the league in those.
That's what Draymond do.
Oh, great!
Draymond just swing the ball.
Well, we finally got our Draymond Green in Sacramento. Then his name is Harrison Barnes.
There it is.
Swing the ball to the real shooters.
Harrison is a screen setter. I don't think anyone wants HB to be a screen setter. But yeah, I think we're all looking forward to that. Kenny joked the practice heard around the world. That I watched, all of the videos that you posted last night with Domas and Kevin, and and Mike Brown, and it's physical. It's physical. First words out of Kevin Huerter's mouth, it was physical. Yeah, we were getting up and down. We needed it. We needed to get up and down the field. It was physical. It was like, what, y'all beat each other's ass? Like, what the hell? Y'all jump Sasha? What the hell went on in here?
It's physical.
But
Kevin got like, it's physical. No one's beating on anybody, but it got physical.
It sounded like, especially from Kevin Huerter, he was like, yeah, this is what we needed. We've been in here for 4 days. We needed to get up and down the floor like this.
No, I totally agree. And I know when I was on with Jake on Thursday, Jake Gaden from CBS 13, he brought up the point that Sabonis hadn't played with contact all summer, right? Because they're trying to like basically bubble wrap his hand. And he worked out every day. I know that for a fact. He worked out with Doug like 97% of the summer he was working out with Doug. But he also like he avoided like major contact situation. Like Sabonis is one of the most physical players in the league. He, inadvertently knocks people down all the time just with his physicality. I don't think and I think preserving him throughout the summer, not having him play European basketball, not, playing for his country. All of that is a good thing for the Kings. Like they're getting a fresh Sabonis and he's running out there and probably just running through people. He's not going to take any time to like acclimate to the to being back and being back in 5-on-5. Like he already has it down, and if he doesn't, he'll have it down by the end of game 1. And then with Huerter, I did ask him about the New York Giants at the end, because he is a renowned gloater of New York sports. Like he will literally just walk in the locker room talking trash about his Giants. So sometimes you got to put him in their place just to make sure he knows he's in NorCal and like.
Hey, I think Kevin Huerter is a really good dude. Like from all accounts,
he is.
Like dude. Does he take kindly to trash talk? And he seems like Kevin Huerter kind of seems like he's like if the Giants aren't playing well, you got smacked up. Like, well, what don't we talk trash?
No, he's okay. Yeah, he is kind of a like. I've even like, we're both gingers. Like, bro, you can't wear that bubblegum sweater you got. That's not us, bro. We can't do that. Like, we're gingers. We can't wear that color. So like I mess with him about other things. And like when he first got here, the big joke around Sacramento is that we traded for my son. So like he and I, like we talk, we have conversations about stuff like this. He's a good dude. He's fun.
Good to know.
I think the Giants question made the end of the video. That made the very end of the video you posted.
Yeah, it was at the very end.
He's like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. His quarterback's going to get killed, which is a shame. His quarterback is going to get killed. What do you think we see Sunday? Do you think, is it everybody playing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Well, I mean, probably 6 guys won't play, which means 15 will. Yeah, I think we'll see the starters for, I don't know, 5 minutes, early on. And then we might see him again in the third quarter. Probably not. I don't know. Then we'll see second team guys. Then we'll see young players play a bunch of time. But the Kings only have 4 preseason games, right?
5.
Yeah, Lakers, I think 2 against the Warriors and the Jazz.
I think it is 4, right? Is it 5?
No, 5. I think it's 5.
Toronto, 2 against the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Jazz.
Oh, yeah. And then there's
a back-to-back in there somewhere.
Yeah, the last 2 are back-to-back. Yeah. I think the Lakers play 6. And so, like, this is a standard. It just really seems early to have a preseason game.
It does. It seems like there's like 2 or 3 weeks. Usually there's 2 or 3 weeks of training camp, and then they play a game. They just started training camp the other day.
Yeah,
we saw a game, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
It feels like
India.
Like everything's been pushed up a week, and I know it has, but like they just pulled a week out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, wasn't that week valuable? That week seemed like it may have had some value in the past, but they're shortening everything.
Well, the NBA is powerful. They just made a new week.
It's possible. That's all it was. They made October 38 days.
Adam was like, I just need a new week. Cool. You got it, Adam. Okay. Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
I'm trying to see real quick before we go anywhere. Last year, the first preseason game of the season, Harrison Barnes played 27 minutes. Sabonis played 27. Fox played 24. Monk played 21. Fox had 21 points in that game. I think this is the first one.
What day is it?
October 14th.
Oh, yeah.
October 14th.
Yeah.
What? That's the first.
No, it was the last one. October
3rd
against the Lakers. So here we go. Yeah, this looks a little different. Harrison played 15. Sabonis played 14. Fox played 15.
Okay, so October. So this is probably 2 days ahead of where they played last year, because they started on like the 25th of September last year, right around there. It's always the last Monday of September is media day, and then the next day is training camp. And so like if we move stuff around, you said it was the 2nd. Is that what you said? Or the 3rd?
Last year.
Okay. Yeah. So and their first game this year is on the 8th. So maybe a day or two. Yeah. Weird. It just feels like it's soon.
We'll come back. We'll talk more Kings basketball, more NBA basketball with the host of the Insiders, our 1320 Kings Insider, James Ham, with either one KCB turn here on Sacramento Sports Leader, ESPN 1320. I'll get Sky River when we get back. I meant to do it right there. I even got the read pulled up in front of me, but yeah, forgot. Straight up forgot.
Nice. We survived the week. We survived the 3 week. Like
by a thread.
Yeah, I don't know how, but we did. Hopefully you guys got a donut. I don't know. I brought donuts in this morning.
Yeah, I think someone just finished them off like a minute ago.
Yeah, they took all the ones I like. I didn't get a chance.
They took all. Oh no, you did. You got the one of Sean's.
Oh, no, I did get it. Yeah, Sean hooked it up. Sean hooked it up. They had when I went to the box, they had like coconut there.
Oh yeah, the one coconut. I'll know next time. Don't get a coconut one when he goes to do the mix. No coconut. Oh. Randy Gregory, that could be a big deal. I keep saying it. Like their defensive line has not been great. Like they've got 9 sacks on the season, and 3 of those were Drake Jackson in week 1, which is a total anomaly. I mean, it matched his career number in one game, and then he's never sacked anybody since. I don't know if he's played, but yeah, they needed something a little.
Yeah, that was big time. I was happy to see that.
Yeah,
happy to see that. They need. I don't want to say they need. I think they can do it without it, but since they're not paying them a whole lot of money, if they can go get a cornerback from somewhere, a starting cornerback, we got action.
They should have just sat there and worked with the Broncos until it happened and just got Surtain.
They got the Surtain.
Yeah. I know they're never going to give him. Well, they shouldn't give him up. I think they're silly, but yeah, they would be silly to give it up. Sweet.
You doing anything this weekend, Hammer?
Well, I got those 2 games on Sunday at 5:30.
Well, yeah.
So I'll be watching 2 TVs at once. We're going out to dinner tomorrow night. I don't know what we got going on tonight. I'm a little run down after a week of training camp and show by myself. Well, not by myself, but having to organize it and get through the week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everything kind of worked out.
Yeah, sounded great. That's for sure. Sounded great.
Good. Jacob Z, there is a Kings practice tomorrow before they leave. So yes, we do have practice tomorrow.
Oh, they're leaving. Wow.
But they're going to do one of those things where they have us all come down there and then get us in late and then act like it's our fault.
All right, guys, we got to go.
Yeah. Hey, this is going to be real quick. It's going to be real quick, right? It's like, Well, my drive was still 55 minutes. So, I don't know.
It's bothering me. I still see Kim here. It means she hasn't gone to Complex's house to dig through the records like she was instructed to.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're back, Hammer. Sky River Casino is the place to play with over 2,100 of the newest slot machines and over 80 table games. Sky's the limit if you're 21 and over at Sky River Casino, and 32 Brew Street is the perfect place to catch all of the action. There's a lot going on Sunday. You can head over to 32 Brew Street inside Sky River Casino and not miss a thing. Over 70 TV screens, great food, game day menus, drinks as well. And it pays to be a member at Sky River. Very literally, join today, become a member at Sky River, and get $20 in free play.
That's my spot right there.
Lots of great promotions going on all October at Sky River Casino. So sign up when you go watch all of the games going on Sunday at 32 Brew Street. James Ham back here with us is talk about games. You got the 49ers and the Cowboys coming up on Sunday night. You've got the first preseason game coming up with the Sacramento Kings and the Toronto Raptors on Sunday night. And, before you know it, the regular season will be here for basketball. And I think the prevailing thing, you saw it in Anthony Slater's article. James, you've written about it. You've talked extensively about it this week. And the Hall of Famer, Mark Spears, wrote about it today. Mike Brown has not minced words when it comes to his expectations for the team this year, and it's a championship. He said that to you in the conversation you guys had on the Insiders. We have championship aspirations. We have championship expectations this year, and he has not shied away from that as training camp has gotten underway.
I think it's interesting, Damian. He's not a why not us guy. He's saying, no, that's who we are. That's where we're going. And that's what his players have reiterated. So, you know what I mean? There's that well, why not us?
Well, we could do it. Everybody has a chance.
Yeah.
That's not what he's talking about.
That's not what he's talking about. No. That's what we're playing for. And I think it's interesting too. Even Malik Monk said it during the interviews that we did. He said, well, that was our goal last year too. He said, our goal wasn't to make it to the playoffs and go out. That, Mike Brown has said, I wasn't brought here to make it to the playoffs. I was brought here to win a championship. That's the game we play. So I like the mentality and look, what if Harrison Barnes hits that shot? If De'Aaron Fox doesn't break his fingertip, the Kings are in the second round of the playoffs. I almost guarantee that they're there. And then they're playing a Lakers team that they owned the entire season, were 4-0 against. There is a possibility that they could have represented the West, not the Western Conference in the finals, but certainly made it to the Western Conference Finals. In my opinion, maybe I'm crazy, but you take the champs to 7 games, and you have 2 things go wrong, really, or one thing that just happened, which is a missed shot, and one thing go wrong with the injury to Fox. They were right there. I would have loved to have seen this team make it through that first round and see where they go. So again, I understand what Mike's saying because they had a shot last year to at least go give Denver, a better run than what we've seen from most of the teams that went up against Denver. But yeah, I like it. That should be your mentality if you're going to play professional sports. It's just been really hard to ever think of that mentality when you're riding a 16 season playoff drought.
And it's the confidence that they have in themselves as a team, as a unit, as a group. But it's not nothing, outwardly, bombastic or anything. It's just you guys just talked about. It's the expectations. We expect to be one of these teams that competes for a championship this year. There's no need to, shoot to yell it from the mountaintops or nothing like that. It's just what it is, and they handed themselves like a team that has competed for a championship, right? Like Boston's not saying, we expect to win a championship or they just no, that's just what it is. That's how the Kings are handling themselves. I love it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like, look, you bring the same team back, and we get so caught up in like the chemistry that they might have together and how they played last year and all this chemistry and all this stuff. What you also forget is you walk into day one of training camp and you're a full year ahead of where you were the year before. You don't have to stop on day one of training camp, get out a playbook and start teaching the group the plays. Everybody knows the plays. And the guys that don't know the plays, they're standing on the sidelines watching the plays and learning the plays. They've got a handbook, they're learning and all that stuff, but they're not in there making the mistakes. It's you got a starting unit and a second unit, most of which are they've been together for an entire season. So I think there's such a like comfortability of walking into a training camp building off of a previous foundation, not trying to build forms for a foundation. And that's where this team is. It's really easier to get the whole conversation going when everybody's already on the same page. And now let's add this. Let's add this. Let's tweak this. We don't like what happened there. Let's add something like cranking up the intensity and see how that goes. Like there are little things that they're doing that they're allowed to do because this is the second go around. That other teams, again, like the Suns traded their starting center like 4 days ago. Like they traded their starting center and now they got a different center. And sure, he's a veteran, but he's not the same. And he's had injury issues, but also they brought in Grayson Allen. They brought it like they bring in Nasir Little. Like these are all new pieces. You can't just expect those pieces who haven't been there the whole month of September working with the other guys or the whole offseason working with these guys to instantly fit in. Now, that doesn't mean the Suns aren't going to be good. And then let me back that up and add the other element that we're not even talking about with the Suns. They fired Monty Williams. All of the lingo is different. All of the language, all of the playbook, everything is different. It's someone else doing it. Yeah. And so that's where you have the Kings who have a major advantage over some of these other teams. And we talked about this last year. I remember going into the season, I told you guys I was so much more secure in if you're going to compete for the final playoff spot, like one of the last playoff spots, like we thought the Kings would, and you're competing against the Portland Trailblazers and the Los Angeles Lakers, and they have their coaches and you have Mike Brown. I told you guys, I feel so much more confident that Mike Brown is going to be able to bring this team through just on experience alone. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, who was the 3 seed and who was the 8 seed and who was out of the playoffs? Like Mike Brown's influence on this team is huge. Well, some of these other teams that you're competing with and you're worried about and everyone is focused on, they're literally starting from scratch. Sure, they have a Hall of Famer or two on their team. They're starting from scratch, and that's not easy. And they're starting from scratch even from last week. Like 3 of your rotation just showed up. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's something to the teams that have stuff to figure out. Right. And I think Phoenix is absolutely one of those. I think talent early in the season will get them wins for sure. But there are things they got to figure out. That's why I have so many questions about the Warriors, because I feel like they're too focused on figuring this thing out and making everybody happy. I think Golden State will be a different team in the second part of the season than they are the first, one way or another, whether Chris Paul is on the team or not. And the fact that Sacramento is the picture of stability. Well, and I mean, in addition, obviously, to the Denver Nuggets.
Back it up. What did you just say?
The picture of stability. Yeah. You look at Phoenix. I mean, you look at New Orleans, the questions around New Orleans, and it's like, there's Sacramento. I mean, the biggest question around is they can't possibly stay healthy like they did last year. It's impossible. There's no way. I mean, the Lakers are going to be healthy. Phoenix is going to be healthy. Golden State's going to be healthy. Denver, everybody. It's like when everybody's going to turn it up after the All-Star break, except for Sacramento. It's the same thing headed into the season. Everyone's going to be healthy, but there's no way Keegan Murray's going to play 80 games again. That's preposterous. There's no reason. There's no way these guys could be healthy.
And we can even reverse this. And let's just play a game. I'll give you a team, and you tell me 2 players that you're worried about injury history. Okay? We'll start with the easy one. Los Angeles Clippers.
Paul George,
All
Kawhi.
in Kawhi.
Los Angeles Lakers.
Anthony
AD
Davis.
and LeBron. LeBron hasn't
Okay.
been 100% healthy.
Let's go Golden State Warriors.
Steph.
Chris Paul, Klay Thompson. Okay.
Draymond. Everyone over the age of 39 on that roster is
Let's go Denver Nuggets.
Michael Porter.
Jamal Murray, Michael Porter.
Nah, I'm not going to be worried about Jamal.
I don't know.
Jamal doesn't have a.
No, it's just the one injury.
He just has the one big injury.
And trying to get back from that injury.
But he literally missed an entire season with it.
Oh, he did.
With a torn ACL. Okay, so what about the Memphis Grizzlies?
Steven Adams is you already lost Brandon Clark. Steven Adams would be my biggest concern there.
Okay,
and you
so
also have 25
John
games of Ja
Instagram.
Morant. Sir, on a Friday?
Oh, it's John Instagram is a concern.
So this is I'll finish with the last team. What about the Sacramento Kings?
You don't really have anybody.
I'll wait for it.
The most you could say is like De'Aaron Fox usually misses 10 games.
Well, De'Aaron, I think, yeah.
That's the most you could say.
Yeah, but going back, the 2 previous years, last year I can't remember. He had the foot thing,
yeah,
and a baby, but the 2 years prior, I think he had COVID absences, and one of them was, bro, don't even bother coming.
Well, he got hurt. One of the years. He broke the year or something like that.
With when Sabonis got traded, he had a broken bone in his hand, but he could have. Right. If it was playoffs, he would have kept playing.
Well, and then remember, that ankle. Whew.
Yeah, we could have kept going. Like people.
Who was it? Was it Alvin? Alvin said if it was playoffs, De'Aaron could go.
Yeah,
boy, Alvin had a lot of quotables in his short time as the Kings head coach. 2 of them were we didn't quit, or we're not quitting. The other one was if it was the playoffs, De'Aaron would go.
To James's exercise, though, there's not any real injury history with these guys on the Sacramento Kings.
They can't possibly be healthy guys. Just ask Tim Bontemps.
Well, that's James.
And Brian Windhurst and Tim McMahon and John Hollinger and virtually everyone else who
the barista
covers the NBA.
I did see that was it Stephen Reeves? He said he's going to he's going to stop covering. He's going to stop covering the NFL if Brock Purdy wins a Super Bowl.
No, I really wish that happened. I really hope that happens.
No, like if you're, where's he, the Ringer?
Yeah.
If you're the Ringer, you have to fire him if this happens.
Yes.
Hey.
And I ain't even trying to say,
nah, bro.
But you say something like,
you
gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
He's got the human bobblehead, Daniel Jones, who's just running around out there just getting thumped in the head every single game, getting knocked down, 11 sacks. He's got him 3 spots, 7 spots, 6 spots higher than Brock Purdy.
Oh, he had Mac Jones 5 spots higher than Purdy.
He has Tom Brady.
Doesn't even like Mac Jones.
He has Tom Brady 13 spots ahead, and Kyler Murray is up there as well. I just don't get it.
I don't know what reason I want the Niners to win a Super Bowl more for. My personal enjoyment as a 49ers fan, or for this guy to quit covering football. I don't know.
He's not covering football at this point. He's humoring himself with his writing. He's not covering professional football.
No,
he's a troll. Twitter has allowed trolls to become writers, and that's all this dude is he's a troll. And because the San Francisco fan base, the 49ers fan base meaning, is massive, he knows that's the perfect group to go at, because they're gonna spitefully read his stuff. They're gonna read his stuff.
Yeah.
And he can show his bosses, look, they're clicking on it.
And on top of that, I hate when people say stuff like that in sports. It's the odds are with you. The odds are against Brock Purdy or it's the field. If somebody said take the 49ers to the field, the odds are with the field, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So, you're not going out there. If Brock Purdy doesn't win a Super Bowl that doesn't mean you're right.
It's just
you know what I mean? Like,
it's just a desperate attempt for attention. Like old boy in Cleveland who had to eat something when the Browns made the playoffs. I feel like I remember what it was, but I don't know if it was
I remember that
as
story.
extreme as I was thinking.
I remember that story, and the other one was poor Hugh Jackson had to jump in the lake if they went 0-16.
There's no poor Hugh Jackson anything. Jump in the lake, bro.
Jump in the lake.
Yeah,
Get in the lake.
Yeah. Go for a swim. 0-16. Well, yeah. That's hey, you podding. Let's not forget, you brought this up the other day. Harrison Barnes' beard.
Oh, poor
Harrison Barnes talking about I'm gonna grow a beard until the playoffs.
Oh no,
we're
poor
gonna until we make the playoffs, and this man just grew. I thought my beard stuff was bad. Like HB needed beard balm and growth, and just
poor Harrison,
no
man.
good, no good.
He did. You can say poor Harrison, but we talked about Harrison today. Did you see the Mike Scotto article in Hoops Hype? He tracked down the highest paid players in NBA history who have never made an All-Star team. He has the top 50. Harrison Barnes is right behind Rudy Gay. So it's Rudy Gay at number 6 and Harrison Barnes at number 7. By the time Harrison Barnes gets through his 3-year contract, he'll probably be number 2 or number 3. Wow. And of highest paid players who have never made the All-Star team. And he'll be over $220 million by the time he gets done with his 3-year contract. But I bring this up because that dude is so savvy that when he grew that ridiculous beard, which I felt for him because it was not a great beard, just like I can't grow on the sides, that guy can't grow on the sides. He signed an endorsement deal to shave that beard. And I interviewed him and they sent me beard stuff. That's how good that guy is. So
we might be a little off. Was it till the Kings get to 500?
Sure.
No, it was.
They didn't make.
I'm just looking I'm just looking at different.
Both of them were hopeless.
I think it started at until they get to 500, but then 500 wasn't the playoffs. So then he said,
Harrison Barnes beer watch. Day 103.
Oh no.
103.
Oh, HB. HB was podding before we knew what it was.
Man.
He's incredible. He's a good dude. I'm glad he's still around.
Who is number 1 on that list?
It is Tobias Harris, who, when he is done with this season, has made, check this, $250 million. He will be at $250 million, and he'll just turn. I think he turns 32 during the season. Like he's got another contract in him.
Yeah, he's gonna make another $50-60 million.
Yeah. So Tobias is number 1. Number 2 is Danilo Gallinari.
I found a picture of HB's.
Oh no! Oh no!
It looks like a cross between Harrison Barnes and Jimmy Butler's hair right there.
He got that Jimmy Butler hair.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness! What are you showing us?
Those days are gone.
Yeah, those days. HB, we did it. We did it.
I feel bad for his wife because like she's like, what is happening over there? Like we got to shave.
So I actually thought of this because this came up the other day. Because we say Harrison was potting. Was Brittany pregnant at the time? Because you know how dudes grow, they do like a pregnancy beard. Was he framing it as something else when he was just really riding with the wifey? I can't remember because I know they had a kid relatively recently. Or relative around.
Might be correct.
That's your question for HB tomorrow. This is how you phrase it. HB, were you podding? And did you actually grow a pregnancy beard versus a sub 500 / playoff beard? But you got to use the term pod.
Yeah, I'm telling
podding. You. Okay, I don't know if I can do that.
You could do it, James. Come on.
I can say Herkel Durkel. I don't think I can say podding to him.
I think Brittany was pregnant, and that's why he did it.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm not mistaken, his little girl's name is August, which I believe means she was born in August.
She was born around the time Matt's son, I think, was born, if I remember correctly.
Well, he's over 2. He's in his he's in his terrible 2s for sure.
Matt who?
George.
Oh,
George.
Matt.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of somebody on the Kings. I was like, what? Matt?
No,
Matt Williams
George.
on the Kings. Shout out Matt George.
Well, I don't know. Conspiracy theories abound about why Harrison Barnes grew a bad beard several years ago.
This is wild. This is the only drama facing the Sacramento Kings this season.
This is it.
This is it. We found the drama.
That's it.
Did Harrison Barnes lie to us? And can we see the start of another beard? Is there another baby on the way and they're just not telling us?
A championship beard.
Championship beard.
I'm not cutting my beard till we win a championship, and it just so happens Brittany's pregnant.
I don't know. We do know that during the offseason, the Sabonises had baby number 2. They had a little girl.
Hey, yes, absolutely. Congratulations to them. Do you think the Bucks have the top offense in the league now?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so either.
I mean, I think they have the top.
With the Middleton situation, I wouldn't put them in number 1.
They have potential to score like 150 on any night for sure. They have an incredible, but night in and night out, people don't talk about it, but Dame's 33. Giannis has a little bit of injury history.
I think Dame's going to survive. Like,
Dame just averaged like
what's Steph, 36, like 35, 36.
Yeah, but also like Middleton is 32, and
apparently Middleton's dead. Like what the Chris Middleton news is awful. Do you know he's not practicing
right now?
He's not. He doesn't have. He's not cleared for contact.
Oh,
he's not doing
that's not good.
When you get when we're finished, there's a transcript. Look up reporter Adrian Griffin, Chris Middleton, something like that. And in an exchange that went on yesterday, they're asking about Chris Middleton, and Adrian Griffin's being really like vague about it. And the reporter's trying to get to like, is he cleared to practice or not? And Adrian's like dancing all around this question and not answering him. And he's directly asking him, is he cleared for 3-on-3? Is he cleared for 5-on-5? And Adrian says he's cleared for where he's supposed to be.
What, sir? What?
What does that mean? I have got similar things in the past, like, hey, it's a shoulder injury. Okay. Is it a separated shoulder? Grade 1, grade 2? Is it a dislocated shoulder? Did he tear his rotator cuff? Did he fray his rotator cuff? Did he have an AC joint sprain? Like, what is it? It's a shoulder injury. Oh, okay.
It was like 2 years ago that James had that exchange. 2 or 3 years ago.
I don't ever forget. Yeah, I think that's a big issue right there. And then the other issue, Steven Adams, like, oh no, bro. Hey, no, mate. I can't.
I'm worried about my man Steven Adams.
Yeah, I don't know how much he can play at all right now.
Yeah, he had one. I guess like Chris Middleton and to the extreme degree, Lonzo Ball. He had one of those weird injuries where it's just like we're just gonna try to figure it out along the way. We'll try this. That didn't work. Let's try this. It didn't work. Okay, he's out 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, make it 6. He's out 8. Okay, it appears Steven Adams actually isn't coming back. It's like, okay, you had the off season, but like, what did you do? Because you still have an undiagnosed injury.
Right.
And I think when you have an undiagnosed injury, that's the scariest thing because you don't know how to fix it.
Trying.
Yeah, right.
He's not healthy enough right now. He said it at media day. He's not healthy enough to go.
Steven Adams
right
did? Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's
no,
tough.
he's not back.
That's tough.
He's not back to full force.
I mean, it's tough. I like Steven Adams a lot. I feel for him, but from a Kings perspective, to me, that dead's Memphis.
I think so.
Like you're out Steven Adams, Brandon Clark. You got 25 games without Ja. That doesn't work. James, great work all week on the Insiders, 10 to 12 with Jerry and Jake and Sean and Joe and Jesse. You did a fantastic job. Kyle Matson will be back with us. We'll be at full strength, I think, for the first time in like 3 weeks on Monday. We hope you'll tap in beginning at 10 a.m. with the Insiders.